I have planted my flag on Mount Connections. They are what makes the world go round. And I'm here right now on this very podcast because of connections. I'll be honest, I am pretty good at making connections, but it's not hard by any means. You just need to be open to making connections and open to creating them for others. And when it all clicks, it's like the most awesome feeling in the world. I'm Carla Marie, and I am the host of the Carla Marie and D'Anthony Show on Twitch and YouTube. I am a former radio host who you may have heard on Elvis Duran in the Morning Show or the Carla Marie and D'Anthony Show on the air in Seattle. I most recently hosted the Long Story Short podcast by Vistaprint, a series geared towards giving small businesses advice. I also created and hosted the Side Hustlers podcast, which was my pride and joy. It's where I made a majority of my connections, 3 of them being the hosts of this very podcast. And on that podcast, I helped tell the stories of small business owners who were working a day job and following their passion in their side hustle. In order for you to fully understand my story and why connections are such a huge part of my life, I'm going to take you back to my days at Elvis Duran in the Morning Show.
This is Elvis Duran in the Morning Show.
I was the phone producer and lifestyle contributor, which meant I answered all of the calls that came into the show, but I also got to be on the air. And that is where I created my segment, What's Trending, where I featured cool new products, services, apps, anything I thought you didn't know about that you needed to know about. And it was where my contact list started to grow. But it wasn't just a list of names in an Excel spreadsheet. It was actual people. And I started interacting with them and learning about their stories and their why. And I didn't know it at the time, but it was essentially what created this passion and this fire within me to love and support small businesses and want to be a part of their journey. And now here I am years later, getting to fully live that out with small business owners. But if you work in radio, you inherently gain a lot of contacts, whether it's from hosting station events, meeting with clients or listeners. There's just a lot of people all the time. And without sounding like a total douche, I just know a lot of people, but you do too. I mean, you have social media. These days, our connections aren't just with the people we actually spend time with. It's people we comment on social media or just have a quick passing conversation with. And at this point in my life, when I was at Elvis Duran in the Morning Show, I wasn't making connections between people. I was just making my own connection. So this was kind of like the base foundation for me of branching out and meeting people. But connections are everywhere. I mean, we have LinkedIn. It is an entire social media platform devoted to making connections. And I love LinkedIn, but connections are so much better when they just happen. I put out my Side Hustlers podcast for 3 years, and I barely ever had an issue finding a weekly guest. And it wasn't because I knew so many small business owners at the time. It was because people would connect me to other people. As soon as I would be done recording an episode with my guest for that week, they would say something like, "Hey, you know who you should talk to? My friend does XYZ." And they would connect me to them. And the exact same thing would happen when I would record with that person. And then I eventually created this mini network of small business owners. And then I started making connections myself within this network. The first one I really remember having an impact on me was with a chalk artist here in Washington. Her name is the Chalk Boss, and a flower truck, Valley and Rose flower truck, also here in Washington. And I had seen the owner of the Valley and Rose flower truck use chalk on the side of the truck on the little blackboard to write her business name. And I remember thinking, man, Chalk Boss does that. And she would do such a great job. So I connected them. And before I knew it, they had worked together, and getting to see that picture on social media of 2 small business owners that I connected work together on such a cute project, I geeked out. Woo-hoo! And that was the beginning of me being addicted with connecting people together. Another one of my proudest connections is when I thought of connecting Jen from Wax Cabin with Ariel and Hannah of Happy Box. Now together, they have not only done amazing business, you can add a Wax Cabin candle to your Happy Box, but they've created this podcast. So the same high that you get from volunteering is how I feel when I connect people. One of the greatest moments for me was during the 100th episode of my Side Hustlers podcast. We were live at the Full Moon Market. It is a small makers market here in Seattle. And my guest was artist and co-founder of the market, Laura Burkhart. And she said to me on the microphone in front of everyone, "You are the great connector of Seattle." And that was just like a whoa moment for me. And I was just in awe. Like, knowing I connect people is one thing, but hearing someone say that out loud in front of a group of people was like the most insane to me. And I had connected people because I thought it was just cool seeing what they created when working together or helping one another with different business things. I have connected people from all over the country, but hearing that in the community that I live was just awesome. But connections aren't just business to business. When I moved to Seattle from New Jersey, I knew no one, but I had people who started connecting me with friends who lived out here. And one of the first friends I made out here is still one of my best friends today. And I know we always think stranger danger with the internet, which is true, but one of my other great friends I met because I followed her dog's account on Instagram, and I went to her wedding, and 7 years later, we are still friends. If you want to make connections or you need connections, you need to be open to receiving them, and you've got to put it out there. It's something as dumb as, hey, if you're going to need a dog sitter, then anytime you have a conversation with anyone in your life, say to them, if you know anyone who's looking to dog sit, let me know. I know it sounds so stupid for me to tell you this, but you need to be mindful about doing things like this if you want to meet new people or get things done. Or, hey, if you know anyone who likes to run marathons, can you connect me with them? And you make these connections with people over common interests or things that you need, and you help them in return. It's so stupid to actually say out loud, but you got to do it. Whatever it is, put that shit out there. Throw the boomerang, it will come back. But those are connections for yourself. And if you want to be the ultimate connector and help others and connect them together, it does require a little bit of time. Very little bit of time, but it does require time. And it's often a selfless act that will make you feel good. It's often a quick text, email, or DM that says something like, hey, I wanted to connect you guys, Ariel and Hannah. This is Jen, the owner of Wax Cabin Candle Co. Her candles are super cute. They smell amazing. And I think they would be a perfect fit for Happy Box. Jen, meet Ariel and Hannah, the founders of Happy Box, a company that helps you be the best damn gift giver. I know you guys will work well together. I can't wait to see. Have fun. Boom, done. I don't know, whatever else you say in an email when you send it. It takes effort, but minimal effort. And you would hope that someone would put in that same effort if they thought connecting you with someone or something would make your life better. So put it out there, start connecting other people because it's going to come right back to you. Making connections is so important. It's how you meet your significant other, your friends, find a new career. Connections can help you learn things like about cultures that you didn't know about or new restaurants in your city. You're probably already making connections. I bet you're even making them daily, but be intentional about them. And when you do that, you're going to make even better connections and you're going to feel even more fulfilled. I dare you to make a purposeful connection in the next few days and think about how you feel. And connect with me literally anywhere. It is the Carla Marie, and no, that does not count as the connection you have to do in the next few days. And pro tip, make sure you're saving all of your contacts in a place that is not connected to your corporate job email, because one day, if they happen to turn it off, it's going to be a bitch reconnecting. I'm about to do a TED Talk. I kind of like it.
Okay, Happies, we are out. Remember to follow at HappyBox and at Wax Cabin on Instagram. Watch our stories for podcasts and product updates. If you need business or life advice, email us at thetotallyhappypodcast@gmail.com. That is thetotallyhappypodcast@gmail.com, or call the THP line and leave a voicemail at 973-520-7533. Like and subscribe to our pod, and for fuck's sake, get to work.